All right, so we got
what's going on?
the surf cam up because it's an empty beach.
And no one's here.
Look how rough it is. I mean, those are some backers.
Well, there was a gale warning, so I mean,
40-mile-per-hour gusts
at Mayport,
offshore.
yeah.
And that was yesterday, right?
That was yesterday.
I was seeing those reports.
Yeah.
But this morning, I was still seeing 30-mile-per-hour gusts along the coast.
Wow.
So that's a pretty long duration wind event, and so finally, it's pushing up the waves along the beach. But I digress because I'm just trying to focus.
Nobody wants to go in that, though. It's so cold.
I've been talking about snow all day. I'm longing for those days where we could just go to the beach, but that is not happening anytime soon.
5 days.
Of freezes. Yeah, I know. This is going to be crazy. We got another freeze coming in tonight, and right through the weekend, freezing temperatures.
Could be hard freeze.
Hey, it's freezing outside right now. Now, not everywhere is freezing, but we have seen like areas in Georgia staying below freezing all night long, and here we are 1:31 in the afternoon and still freezing along the I-95
Just can't catch a break.
So all that ice has caused arcing on power lines. Tree limbs have knocked down power lines as well.
We had bridge closures.
Yeah,
and we did downtown, the Hart, Matthews, Main Street bridges.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of those were closed at one point, but now they've opened. But the thing is, will they close again tonight? Probably they'll stay open here in Jacksonville. However, bridges in Georgia will likely stay closed, or you might need a police escort. They were doing that.
Yeah, especially on the rural roads where we were talking about this earlier. The roads just aren't able to dry out.
Right.
There is no sunshine.
No sunshine.
It is not warming up, and it's not going to be melting anytime soon.
And not always the equipment is available here in our area to remove snow. But it looked like from the videos that we've seen with reporters around Glenn County, they were doing a pretty good job getting that snow off, salting some of the roads there. But with temperatures still at 32, you might not be thawing out much. Even McClenny is seeing temperatures below freezing out towards Lake City. We had a very light freeze at the beach this morning. Jack's Beach was 32 in Ponte Vedra. So that, I believe, marks 2 official freezes
for the beaches.
And temperatures were about 33 degrees all night long in Jacksonville, just above the freezing point. Once the sun came up, that's when temperatures started dropping.
I saw that. The official low so far was like 30.9.
Yeah.
So 31.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's been really strange, this whole weather pattern. Instead of warming up through the day, things actually get colder.
And it's the 9th freeze we've had
for
in
just January. Yeah, for just January. So that's going to put us in the top 10. After we get through 4 more freezes here, we will be in contention for top 10 most January freezes for Jacksonville.
Crazy.
So we could skip back to freezing here as kids come home from school. So this is for Jacksonville. We just talked about how you're still freezing in Georgia,
and they're not in school today either.
Well, for St. Johns County,
St. John's is
areas to the south of Duval. That's right. So that was a good call. You know, that we knew it'd be dangerous driving to work on the roads, and although maybe your neighborhood didn't freeze, there were many areas, and it would not have been smart to have kids going to school. You can see how central North Florida is sticking out with the cold air, but even with 50s in South Florida, that's cold by their standards. So everyone's sharing in the pain of this historic snowstorm. So officially, Florida will go down as probably receiving the most snow, which was in the Panhandle.
So crazy. I mean, just watching the roads along I-10 through Okaloosa, Escambia, Washington Bay counties. I mean, Milton, over 8 inches. Their record for the 24-hour record in Florida was in Milton in March of 1954. 71 years ago, 4 inches.
And while the Panhandle had the most snowfall for Florida set on that date of 1954, Jacksonville had like 1 to 2 inches of snow here.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, whoa, a similar situation. Only this one was just a little bit. No, I wouldn't say to the north. We just had a little bit more warmer air aloft. And that is why we didn't get snow here in Jacksonville. And if you think you saw snow, chances are, if you're in Duval, you saw frozen sleet. There is a difference, and when the sleet accumulates, it can look like white snow, but there is a difference in the crystalline structure and the way it precipitates out of the sky. And so technically it was not snow here in
Well, we talked about in Waycross how they went through like all four, like they had rain,
Yes.
and then they had the freezing rain, and then they had the sleet, and then they had the snow. I mean, like the four wintry mix, truly wintry mix.
Yeah, we were like right on the edge of a sounding line that was almost frozen all the way up, but it wasn't quite. There was that mid layer of warm air, and as that warm air kind of went and back and forth, it created all types of mixed
So crazy.
precipitation.
And a lot of power outages. I have a friend in St. Mary's. She's like, I hope we don't freeze. It's so cold. We don't have any power. St. Simon's Island didn't have any power, and they're concerned about their pipes too.
Yeah.
So.
And that's unfortunate because the power is probably going to stay off through the evening. Because what's ahead? Well, it's freezing air. There's high winds. It just takes longer to get things fixed than say if it were after a hurricane where things usually dry out and the conditions for improvements are better. We're going to keep these clouds around through the day, but there's been some partial clearing in Georgia with some clearing. What's interesting, Richard should share this tonight, the visible satellite shows all the snow from Louisiana on the ground. So the skies have cleared out enough where you can actually see the snow on the visible satellite.
So crazy.
So 38 is a record low afternoon high for us.
Oh,
so we could probably have one of the coldest afternoons here in Jacksonville, going back to 2022. So that was the last time the coldest day was 41 then. So we're probably going to break that here because we're going to struggle just to get to 38 degrees in Jacksonville. We're 4 degrees away from that. Yes, it's 38 in Mayport, but will we get
it
there?
It doesn't count.
Will we get there? I don't know. We're surrounded by freezing temperatures in St. Mary's and McCormick.
That's a crazy map.
Yeah, and the power outages. So this is a storm that earlier the past couple of days we were saying, get your winter preparedness kit together.
Right.
We usually focus on hurricane kits, but with this situation, if you had exposed power lines, they weren't underground utilities, chances are if there's trees around there and there's ice on them, they're going to come down. So like I said, half of you were under power outages. There has been some improvement. That number has now come down to 43% in Charlton County, and you're out of the red now in Brunswick, so that means less than 50% has now gotten their power.
That's good.
The power's
That's
back.
good.
Yeah.
They were prepared. I mean, they had a little time to get crews in
another
place.
issue is when the trees bend due to the ice, it might not snap, and as the ice thaws, those tree limbs can
Whip back
rebound
up.
and create more outages with some arcing on the line. So with the wind staying up this evening, that could be an issue too, since gusts, well, they've pulled back. They're still 25 along the coast, and inland still pretty breezy, and that's keeping wind chills down into the 20s. So it's not just Jacksonville that could set a record low high, but also Arlington, Craig Field. The last coldest high temperature was 47 degrees on this date, so we'll probably break records there, also in Gainesville as well.
Yeah, I mean, we watched, power, talking about power, I was monitoring it last night, and 5,500 people in the Panhandle without power late last night around 10:30.
6 to 8 inches of snow will do that.
So crazy. And my sister lives in New Orleans, and she sent pictures, and they had almost 10 inches of snow in New Orleans.
She needed to put on some ice skates and
She sent some pictures. I thought she was in Colorado. I was like, you're not home. She's like, no, this is my street.
Yeah, your family does have cold weather in their blood. All right, we're going to be dealing with more cold in our blood here tonight because another freeze is coming up. Looking at forecasted lows there. 29 degrees.
And they're saying there could be hard freeze conditions tonight and Friday night and into Saturday morning as well.
So hard freeze conditions like getting down into the 20s, for a couple hours.
For a couple hours.
Yeah.
So don't uncover those plants yet. You're going to want to keep them protected.
Yeah, I was telling people last night, put some plastic, a tarp around the blankets because it was going to be so wet. You won't need that tonight, but you also won't need any covers along the beaches. The vegetation will be fine this evening. It's going to be much warmer there tonight than last night. Instead of 32, we're going to replace that with upper 80s and low 40s. That wind is is your blanket of warmth.
Well, and that's what I said. I remember you saying yesterday, I said it last night when I was with Richard, I said, Mark said, if you cover your plants at the beach, the wind's going to just pull it right off.
I found some sheets, that I didn't really lasso well. They were down the street. But yeah, the winds are up, taking you, let's advance this beyond this morning, because you can see that trajectory. It's interesting how the concave shape of the coastline brings an onshore flow, and that's the reason why areas from Jax Beach southward will not freeze, but there will be a freeze up along the Sea Isles area. So it's going to be a cold start, and then there's going to be, with this cold air at the surface, warmer air is going to be up gliding over that cold tonight into tomorrow morning, and that may generate some showers process due to up gliding, or isotropic lift as we call it. And an area of low pressure is going to form in the Atlantic, and that will help lift the air up, and sometimes that can create light showers. And some of the models are sniffing out some of those around Lake George through Putnam County. So those of you in Palatka and Willaca might deal with some of that light rain tomorrow. It's rain, not saying sleet or snow, because it's not going to be that cold.
Yeah,
it's going to be a cold rain.
Yeah.
Other models try to bring it up further into the Jacksonville West Side area. I don't think that's going to happen. But if that did, then we might see a little second round of sleet. But it's too low to mention.
Well, we just want some sunshine.
Yeah, well,
it's Saturday
not really
sunny.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait till Friday to bring back some sunshine. And even with that sun, it doesn't really help out on the temperatures. We're going to start out cold. These are freezes for Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday. Saturday looks really nice and sunny weather to take us through the end of the week. In fact, taking a look ahead to the weekend, that's when we could maybe see 50s, so
it'll feel warm. It's 20 degrees warmer than we are now.
A little bit warmer.
I like this Monday right here because that's average. That's normal. That's where we should be.
I'm liking next weekend we're in the 70s.
Next weekend?
That will be good.
Oh, you're looking way ahead.
I'm looking to like the 27th, 28th.
But that takes us out of January for the most part.
Well, yeah. So
it puts us into February.
February would be the turnaround month for us. And, last year we didn't have a single freeze in February. So maybe we'll get lucky again that.
Have a warm February.
We only had like 3 freezes in January last year, and that was it. And this year, here we are making up for it.
Well, we always joke, I live in Jax Beach, and we always joke, it's like we just want one freeze to kill off the bugs, you know? And we've had 2 now, so in Jax Beach.
So,
so maybe we killed off the bugs.
We'll hope. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be spraying come summertime.
We will.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.